Well, good morning. I think if we can get a little organized so that we may start today's conference. I know it's a little bit of a lousy weather out there, lots of rain coming in, and getting through the parking lot here is in itself a little bit of a challenge, but we should all be coming in or close to coming into the conference. Well, I want to welcome each and every one of you to the third conference on reconciliation and change for Cuba. The Cuba Study Group has undertaken the reconciliation project as a way for all Cubans to be better prepared to build a new future for a country. That better future must be different than the violent and confrontational past that has marked their history. That better future must be inclusive and must be built on a foundation of respect, dialogue, and yes, dignity. Our future is a mixed outlook of good and bad news. The good news is that unlike most other conflicts around the world, ours is not based on ethnicity, culture, or religion, but is instead purely political, and all political conflicts have political solutions. The bad news is that solving political conflicts requires a culture of dialogue, respect for others, good listening skills, and an understanding of how we can uphold dignity in ourselves and in others. It also requires an ability to look forward and not backwards, and a commitment to the pursuit of inclusiveness. We know that these traits are not commonplace among us. It is for this reason that in partnership with Beyond Conflict, we have structured all of our conferences where an expert in the field facilitates our learning fundamental reconciliation skills. Then we explore a real-life experience from another country and another context, but where we can learn such skills are how they are put into practice to deliver tangible results. Lastly, a fellow Cuban attempts to put the material presented and the experiences discussed into our own peculiar context, with our own difficulties and complexities. In our first reconciliation conference, Father Robert Schreider gave us a roadmap, not a recipe for reconciliation. After explaining what reconciliation is and what it is not, he told us that reconciliation is a process that requires healing the past. But precisely because it is the past, we must not dwell on our pain. However, he told us that the essence of reconciliation is having the capacity to put the past behind us and build a different future. And it is the building of this future that should and must unite us. We then learned firsthand how the South Africans embrace reconciliation and the building of a new nation. In the second conference, we heard from Germans, both East and West, and how they too look forward instead of backwards. Today, we start with Donna Hicks, a professor at Harvard University. For over 2 decades, she has worked in the field of international conflict resolution and has facilitated between communities in conflict all over the world. We will hear from Donna that recognizing the dignity of each and every person, a fundamental human right, requires that we treat others as equals, not as superior or inferior. In our conflict, this failure to recognize the dignity in others has become just another way to inflict division among us. Revolucionario o gusano, patriota o vendepatria, exilado o inmigrante, histórico o recién llegado, y sí, víctima o victimario. Siempre nos dividimos en grupos, en sectores, en algo que refleja un sentimiento de superioridad o un sentimiento de inferioridad. Then we will hear from Beton Surroy, a newspaper owner and editor who entered politics and was a member of the Kosovo Assembly. He was a senior member of the Kosovo Negotiations Unity Team as Kosovo declared independence from Serbia. Then Dr. Jose Solis Silva, Chair of Philosophy at St. John Vianney College Seminary, will wrap around the subjects of humility, dignity, and reconciliation in the Cuban context. Lastly, we are fortunate to have as our keynote speaker Ambassador Tom Pickering, former Undersecretary of State and former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Russia, Israel, Jordan, India, Nigeria, and El Salvador. He has enormous experience from which to draw some useful advice for us. Please join me in thanking these individuals for giving us so generously their time, their knowledge, and their experiences. In addition, I would like to thank our other partners, Miami-Dade College and Florida International University. Without Miami-Dade support, these conferences would not have been possible. Specifically, I would like to thank Dr. Padron and Juan Antonio Blanco for their help and support. Lastly, I previously mentioned our long-standing partnership with Beyond Conflict. Without their help, experience in the area of conflict resolution, and the many people they know around the world, this project, again, would not have been possible. Now, I would like to introduce Tim Phillips of Beyond Conflict. Thank you so much, and please give a good round of applause to our speakers.